Hi, welcome to my channel. So this is the second video in the love series that I'm going to be doing for all the people who are single out there and who really want to know what's going to be happening in their love life. In this series, you're going to be addressing a lot of your questions in regards to your love life. The next few videos are going to be addressing questions like where will you meet your partner? How will your relationship be with your in-laws? How will you and your partner create a life together? Their appearance, their background. So make sure that you're subscribed to my channel so that you can watch this entire series that I've created just for you. As always, there are 3 images in front of you, and aren't they all very beautiful? But I request that you try and pick only one. Pick the image that you feel is completely pulling you towards it. That image probably has the messages for you. Let's get started. Hi, pile number one. If you chose the purplish, bluish, indigo bluish image on the extreme left, which has these beautiful mushrooms, then this is your reading. One thing I have to tell you before I start with your reading, I think this pile is absolutely looking forward to meeting their partner now. What I see is that, for this particular pile, you just really want to be with your person now. You've waited long enough, and now you're like, okay, when? I just need to know when. Like, is it even going to happen for me? Is there something that I can really look forward to? So, yeah, that was coming in my cards. And I also feel that, maybe this pile of late has moved a lot towards spirituality, towards trying to understand the cosmos, trying to find deeper answers of life. So I do feel like, this pile has been trying to keep themselves grounded, trying to keep themselves balanced. Regardless, the one lingering question on your mind is, where is my partner? Hello, hello. So here is me barging in your video. Only gonna take a few seconds. I just want to talk about few of my services. The first being that if you're looking for a private reading or a numerology analysis or Akashic readings, then please reach out to me via my Instagram. All the details are mentioned in the highlights of my Instagram. And secondly, I have also started teaching both tarot and numerology. These are both online and offline courses. So if you want to be learning from me, then again, please reach out to me via my Instagram. And lastly, if you like what I do here, if you like my style of readings and the messages that I give you, then please ensure that you subscribe to my channel and you do not forget to comment and like the videos that you're watching. And that's about it. Thank you. Is it meant to even happen for me or not? Very interesting. Okay, so without further ado, we'll quickly move into your reading now. So, one thing that I'm seeing here is that, see, when you will meet your partner, right before that, there would be a big phase, many months, or maybe like up to a year and a half also, where you would slowly remove all bad habits from your life. You have certain attributes, traits, something in your nature that you want to change. Like, some people are very aggressive, some people get triggered very easily. So, there would be a lot of these realizations that will hit you, and you would want to change it. Because of which, before you meet the person, organically, and this is not something you're going to be doing because, oh my god, I want to meet like the right person, but it will also be something that you will be doing for yourself. You would be doing this because you would want to become a better version of yourself. I also feel that you would want to take life a little bit more lightly, more playfully before you meet your partner, or before you finally find the one. So, a lot of bad habits, negative traits is something that you would be working upon. If somebody in this pile smokes or has a habit of drinking or is very bad with their food habits, I do see that you're going to be changing that as well. You're going to become very, very mindful of what you're putting in your body. Another message that I'm getting for this pile is they are truly going to understand themselves deeply. Meaning, if you feel that you are very overproductive, you're always thinking about work, or you just have a habit of a tendency of working in a particular manner which stresses you out, your mind is always trying to prove something, then I think a lot of those internal traits is something that you would be working upon before you finally meet that person. And another thing, I do feel before you meet the person, there is some sort of a hobby, a recreational hobby that you're going to be investing in. It could be hiking, it could be dance, it could be music, it could be learning something new which you always enjoyed as a child, something which is hobby based, and you would realize that you need to bring back a particular hobby or something that you really enjoy doing in your life. So you would introduce or reintroduce something that you enjoyed doing in your life. And this is something that's definitely recreational, something that is like a break for you, something that you truly enjoy. I'm also sensing cooking or something to do with gardening. So you might invest more in it. Not like you would do it once or twice, but something that you would want to like pursue and make a part of your life, make a part of your plans. Okay? Couple of other signs that I'm seeing here is that you would become very playful and happy in life before you meet them. And that is because you would be very invested in building your life also without like your partner. So basically you would really want to like have your little plan sorted out, like day to day for the weekend. You would want to have like your little hobbies. You would want to have a life that is like beyond just being tied in relationships, any sort of relationships for that matter. You would want to explore spirituality a lot more. I feel some people in this pile are also going to be learning more about how they can connect with the universe or the God. You're going to find some practice. Could be Buddhism, could be some sort of mantra diksha, or could be some sort of new practice that you follow. So yeah. Another thing what I feel as a sign is that this pile is going to get really calculative before meeting their partner. Very consciously calculative. For a very long time, I do feel like this pile had very unhealthy coping mechanisms. They were also people who really just wanted to like look out for love. Your seventh house could be placed in the sign of moon, or your 10th house could be placed in the sign of moon, in the sign of Cancer, both for 10th and 7th. And check both your ascendant and your D9 chart. And hence, I do feel that you were for a very long time looking for that emotional nourishment which you did not get from your family, which you did not get from your previous relationships, in other dynamics, friendships, fostering a community, building a tribe of people around you. And then you also realized in that process that how some people do not match your energy of what you give. They don't know, A, of course, how to receive also, and B, they don't know how to give it back to you. So you would actually become very calculative, before meeting them, because a lot of situations would play out in your life in a manner where you would actually realize that no, you really need to be investing only in the right people, only in the energy that is receptive or that knows how to give it back to you in the same capacity. And I feel that's wonderful. This is something I really like, when people decide for themselves that they really need to be around people who match their energy. So I do feel that also being one of the sign. One thing that I really can't deny, although it will sound very cliched, too many butterflies in this pile. Very nature-esque energy. So definitely spotting like a lot of butterflies, or maybe making a trip, like when your heart would start making trips to a lot of places where you can see nature, where you engage with birds, where you see different kind of birds. I think that is also a sign that you're like on the right path. And sooner, if not later, you're going to be meeting your partner. I also feel that some people in this pile would be trying um, hard to put a bird feeder, or yeah, bird feeder, or like feed birds, because they want to spot parrots. I think your interest in birds is going to increase quite a lot, before you meet them. You would be very keen on like doing something for birds. And I'm also hearing something about ancestors, almost like you would start hearing too much about past life, ancestral curses, or blessings of ancestors, or feed the crows, crows represent ancestors, so you would hear like a lot of that. Or this is something that you would start practicing very subconsciously, like you would start doing charity work for birds, or simply start feeding the birds. And I do keep on hearing the parrot, 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 parrot. So yeah, that's another thing that I'm seeing. I don't know what your favorite color is, but I definitely feel once you would start meeting, or like being, once you would start being closer to the person who's supposed to be in your life, you would introduce a lot of green and yellow color in your life. And this could literally be in the form of food also. Like you may start eating certain foods which are more green in color. Another sign that I'm seeing is, I think people in this pile absolutely love flowers and nature. Yes. So you may also start either decorating your home with flowers way too frequently, or you may bring certain plants which can flower in your home. Gardening, I think I already told you, right? Yeah. So that's another sign that I'm getting. Couple of other things that I have for you here is that first thing, see, there are two cards which say that help is on the way. I do feel as if this pile needs to be okay meeting someone via other people, or on being pushed by somebody. Like when a friend sets you up with someone, or suppose your parents say, why don't you go and talk to this person, they seem nice. Or when somebody like signs you up for some event, or like a blind dating event, I do feel that you need to be more okay accepting help from others if they want to set you up, or like if they want to help you in meeting the right person. Another thing that I'm getting is definitely something to do with spirituality. I also feel some people in this pile, before meeting the one, they might pick up some spiritual book. Like they would start picking up Bhagavad Gita, or they would start reading a lot about life, love. They might even pick up some self help books. So that energy is also definitely there. Then another thing that I'm getting is that there's something to do with meditation constantly, that's coming to me, like meditation, getting involved in a consistent spiritual practice. So whatever I'm saying in terms of spirituality, it's not just because, oh, you check a tarot card reading, or just generally you seem to have knowledge. You would be consistent in your practice. You would feel a calling for divine love, and you would want to pursue it, you would want to chase it. And I think that's also very important, because I do feel as if your partner is going to be very spiritual in nature too, but this is something that we will check in the future readings. So yeah, but spirituality is something that's going to be very, very important for this pile. And you would feel very deeply connected with the universe and with God before you meet this person in your life. Another message I have here is there is something to do with Venus. I'm hearing Lord Kama, Green Tarama. I would not want to decode these messages just yet. So just take this how it seems. You might keep on hearing things about Venus, Kama, Kamdev, um, Green Tarama. I'm also funnily hearing something to do with Kama Sutra. So, yeah, these are just signs. Maybe these might be like the first few conversations that you might have when you meet them. I'm just taking a guess here, but I'm definitely hearing these keywords. Another thing that I'm seeing here is that for some reason, when you meet them or before you start to meet them, you would have a lot of questions about that. Do I need to have a pet in my home? Should I have a pet? Or like, should I take care of an animal in a routine? It could also be like, you're taking care of a street animal, but then you would want to build a routine into taking care of animals. There is definitely a strong energy of animals in this pile, and I also feel that your partner again might be very invested in causes that support animals, that takes care of animals. If this pile always had this question that, oh my god, I don't know, is it even supposed to meant for me? Like, am I supposed to be with someone? Yeah, I do think that there is promise of marriage in your natal chart. You are meant to be with someone. And actually, I should not say marriage, because I do feel that in today's age and time, it's companionship that makes all the difference. Labels like marriage, etc., are like sometimes not necessary. So I do see the promise of companionship, of love and romance in your chart. I feel like this cow is trying to tell me something. Why do I feel as if somebody in the recent past may have given you some remedy about cow? Something to do either with Mercury or like start feeding cows? Or you will read something which will connect with you to understand that why each animal exists. I'm also hearing Nandi now. So Nandi is the messenger for Lord Shiva. So Nandi, yeah, I keep Nandi, yes. Okay, interesting. You might also visit some Jyotirling, or some place like eminent or a prominent Shiva temple before you might meet them. A lot of spiritual and temple energy in these cards. Nice. I like it. Okay, couple of other signs that I have here is male energy, and now doesn't matter if you're a male yourself and like you're attracted towards the opposite sex. So very main person energy. The person that you might meet may have a very strong Mars or Sun, which also means that initially you might get very intimidated by them. You might feel that, oh my god, like they are just too perfect. Are they out of my league? Or how can they choose me? Will someone like that choose me? So yeah, that is an energy I'm getting here. I did say Venus, right? Yeah, so I feel that maybe your partner can also have very strong Venus in their chart, and your person will feel very confident. Okay, because you're talking about science, one message that also becomes here is you would become very secured in yourself, very confident in yourself before you meet them. You would have the main character syndrome or energy, and in a positive and healthy manner, not in a narcissistic manner. So you would have a very main character energy before you meet them. Yeah, because you're doing so much, right? So you would be very like, oh my god, like I'm great. I love my life. I love everything. So you would definitely feel that, oh, life is great and sorted. Another message that I'm getting is, see, it's interesting. Even if you look at the images and the card that we have here is, first thing I definitely feel against spirituality. As you progress deeper in your spiritual quests, you come across the right resources and you build consistency, you're going to meet them. And this is also a sign, like, you are already going to be doing that in whatever stage of life you do that, and that is when you will bump into them. Another message that I'm feeling here is travel. You will meet them maybe when you have traveled. I do feel as if somebody is going to be pushing you for this travel. Like a friend says, oh no, we have to go, or you have to come and attend my wedding, no, you have to do this. I do feel like it's also going to be then. There's also some blessings I feel that, the spile has collected in terms of like helping or aiding other people in their relationships. And I think that's going to come back to you. So, yay. But yeah, travel energy as you progress more on your spiritual journey. So, if you feel that you should sit down, simply folding your hands sometimes, and eventually try to increase that time, become more consistent with your practice, now is the time. This is what my cards are advising. We'll check last few messages. I'm incredibly capable whenever I encounter a challenge in my life. I use the experience to learn and grow. I support myself in making the right choices for me. Aha. So, since you've been waiting for so long, I do feel people in this pile, in comparison to their peers, in comparison to what society tells us, you guys have been waiting like very, very long into finding your person. And that is because you were being particular, you were being choosy. You maybe also had like certain emotional issues that you had to work through, but it's all right because you're looking for the right choice. You're not looking for just a choice, you're looking for the right choice, the one that really supports and helps you grow. I am one with everyone on this planet. Every time I meditate, oh my god, or do a visualization for healing, I'm connecting with like minded people all over the world. Ooh, 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 I got another message. Global, different culture. Your partner might be from a different environment than what you have been brought up in, culturally, region wise, city wise. And I'm one with everyone on planet. If you see here, there is meditate and visualization. Definitely very strong energy of spirituality. And it's also saying that, somehow because of your spirituality, you get connected with like minded people. What did I say when I looked at this card? I did say your spirituality is going to take you to them. I also feel some people may have Ketu placed in their seventh house, or Ketu could be aspecting their seventh house, or it could be placed in the sign of Ketu. And what that does is it sometimes also gives us a past life connection. It's like, two souls have to reignite again with each other because certain lessons or certain dynamics in the relationship were incomplete. Lifetime, oh my god. I swear I did not look at this card. I was just looking at this card. And speaking of Ketu, lifetime after lifetime, I'm a shining spirit, a beautiful light. I'm always safe, I'm eternal, I'll go on forever from experience to experience. Now I really feel like I said it for a reason. You may have a very strong placement of Ketu in your chart. Definitely, the person that you might meet may be a connection of your past life. In one of the lifetimes, maybe your relationship ended abruptly. And I don't mean unrequited love. I do mean maybe, somebody passed away sooner than their time, or there are still certain lessons, there's still a journey that is to be completed in your relationship with them. So I do feel that, and maybe that's why so much of spirituality also in your cards, because in the relationship maybe one way or the other, but it's the spiritual understanding of life, and the fact that a spirit is beyond just this life and this body. It is lifetime after lifetime. We are just merely here to have experiences and move and progress from them. So I do feel that's why spirituality is so important. Maybe like for you to be able to handle the relationship or handle the jolt that you might feel in the relationship, and good jolt, I mean, or even for your partner, like to connect with them. So yeah, that's all that I have for you. Now, one thing that I'm doing differently today, I'm going to be opening messages from this book. I'm going to be randomly flipping up a page and I'm going to read out a page and see like whatever comes to me might be a message that you need to hear. So I'm flipping the book now. I'm going to do this off camera. Give me a message for pile 1, the indigo blue mushroom image. What do they need to hear? 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 Opening up a page. Okay. So the page that I have opened is this one. I'm going to read it out to you. The status of lifespan chapter. To begin with, just what does the lifespan chapter teach? It explains the eternity of life. Weird, no? Like it's literally connected to this message. Okay. The chapter's Japanese title, Nyurai Juryo, means to fathom the span of life, thus come, or the Buddha, which is Nyurai. The lifespan chapter clarifies that the lifespan of Buddha is immeasurable. And I hope, like, people, if, like, I don't know if you know, but people who practice Buddhism, they say that we all have a Buddha in us, which is that we all are gods in our own self. Aham Brahmasmi. Shakyamuni explains the eternity of life in terms of his own existence. This is important. The eternity of life is not an abstract theory, nor it is fictitious or imaginary. The lifespan chapter is an account of Shakyamuni's own experience. The gist of this account is as follows. Shakyamuni begins by noting that most people believe that he renounced the world at a young age and practiced and attained Buddhahood beneath the Bodhi tree in the city of Gaya. But he refutes this view and clarifies that he attained Buddhahood in the inconceivably remote past, and that ever since he has been instructing countless people in this Saha world and innumerable other lands. In this way, he indicates that his lifespan is immeasurable and that his life itself is eternal and non perishing. So, yep, this is page number 138 of this book, The Heart of the Lotus Sutra. So, if you want, you can pick up this book and read more. What I do feel, what we are getting to know from this life is maybe simply a confirmation also that your spirituality and your relationship that's going to come in your life, or past relationships that may have gone bad, they were all because of your past lives and the karma that you had to play out. Spiritually, also, maybe in some lifetime, you were a spiritual devotee, and the partner that you're going to meet right now also is going to come to you as you keep on progressing ahead in your spiritual practices. So, yes, that's it. That's all I have for you, pile number one. Let me know how this reading resonated with you. If there's any part of it you would want to happen, like if you any part that you would start manifesting, you're like, oh yeah, I heard her saying that, so I hope that comes true. And please do not forget to comment below. Motivates me to make videos. Thank you. Bye. Hi, pile number two. I must say, although you have chosen the most brightest image, but as I was sitting, channeling the messages, meditating a bit, all I could hear was fear. Fear, and as if you have been wronged so many times by so many people, you have been so hurt in love that now you're very alright believing to stay in like a fantasy land, as if that, oh, like it's all right. I know it'll happen, but it'll happen like at the right time with the right person. Maybe like I'm not supposed to meet somebody from just around me. I'm not getting words to explain it, but it is as if you're creating like some fantasy in your life, in your mind, or you're more invested in daydreaming now instead of working on yourself, on your belief systems, on your understanding of people, so that you can actually activate yourself towards going and finding the person. So instead of doing all of that, you're very focused in being a dreamy little land, and a lot of fear of intimacy. What I'm going to say in the next few messages are very specific messages which only few people might connect with. So, this is only for those people. I feel some people in this pile have a child and they are very worried that they should be able to find a partner who really knows how to take care of their child as well, and their child should also be okay with that partner. Some people have massive issues that they're carrying from their own childhood, and now, although they have managed to become wiser, they have managed to tame them, but when you are in a relationship, a lot of your inner child comes out, and not the healthiest inner child. You may become very tantrumy, very whiny, very codependent, very needy, which you're already aware of. Another thing that I have in this pile is that some people have lost their partner, or maybe have lost their parents, and hence there is immense loneliness because maybe they were or are stuck in some sort of a wrong partnership, and they're still watching this reading because they want to know if they will ever find like somebody right in their life. Or if you have lost your partner, I do feel as if some people lost their partner maybe in COVID or by some accident. Yeah, fire accident. I don't know. So you are in a lot of grief and you literally feel that, oh my god, I had something best in my life. Why was it taken away from me? And some people I also feel in this file have been earlier in very bad relationships, somewhat abusive in nature. And now you just cannot get yourself to open your heart again. Hello, hello. So here is me barging in your video. Only gonna take a few seconds. I just want to talk about few of my services. The first being that if you're looking for a private reading or a numerology analysis or Akashic readings, then please reach out to me via my Instagram. All the details are mentioned in the highlights of my Instagram. And secondly, I have also started teaching both tarot and numerology. These are both online and offline courses. So if you want to be learning from me, then again, please reach out to me via my Instagram. And lastly, if you like what I do here, if you like my style of readings and the messages that I give you, then please ensure that you subscribe to my channel and you do not forget to comment and like the videos that you're watching. I would recommend you go and check my first part of this series, which is your current energy, and that might have like the right sort of guidance for you, because this reading is only going to be about the signs that you will get before you meet them. But because these messages were coming to me, I do believe in giving messages that come to me, so I had to share them with you. Okay, now jumping to the topic of the reading, the signs that you will see before you meet your partner. One thing that I definitely see is that your child, in case you are someone who already has a child, your child will start becoming a little bit more independent. No, not independent, sorry. They will start showcasing their individuality. They would start becoming a little bit more curious, showcasing their individuality to you. That is going to be the first sign that you might be on the pathway of like meeting the right person in your life or your future person in your life. Another message that I'm getting is a lot of your childishness and daydreaming, living in a la la land is going to come to an end. When? Actually, before you meet your partner. I feel as if, okay, two other messages. I do feel people in this pile have a tendency to freeze. You know, we all have three, or I think we have actually four modes in our body, right? Flight, fight, and freeze. So some people in a situation, they're immediately active, they know how to fight it out. Some people immediately want to make an escape, flight, and just simplifying it, oversimplifying it. And some people, they don't know how to react in a situation, their mind shuts down, they become numb. That's called the freeze mode. Your freeze mode is always activated. Or you are someone like, you know, who mostly has the freeze mode of coping with things. And I do feel before you meet your partner, you're going to be, you will have to actually, I don't see if you're going to be, because I do feel that there is still a lot of resistance in accepting your shortcomings for this particular pile. But you are definitely going to be, you will need to work on these shortcomings of yours, that you cannot have your freeze mode um, activated always. And I also feel like some people, you know, do not have like a strong presence of mind. I don't know, have people in this pile ever been told that they're slightly self-absorbed, or they're very self-involved, or they don't really care, or, like they have a trouble basically like being there for like other people, because they're so invested in their own issues, in their own mind, what's happening with me. I do feel some people are going to be like that in this pile. And these are two things that you would have to work upon before you meet the partner. Another thing, a lot of your childlike and childish attributes is something you would have to let go before you meet your partner. Your partner is not the replacement for the nourishment of your parents or nourishment of your previous partners. Your partner would have their own baggage, and they deserve somebody who is well capable of communicating emotionally, understanding them because you understand yourself. So your partner is also going to be looking for a companionship, right? Like an equal partnership. So, of course, all the nurturance, love, and everything would come into the dynamic, but that cannot be the only reason of why they choose you or simply to provide for you. That is what I'm hearing. And sorry if this is harsh, but I just have to say what I'm hearing. So, yes, before meeting your partner, you would have to come into your full potential and full capability. You would have to see, I don't mean that you would have to stop being playful, or you would not have to be like childlike or innocent or like seeing the beauty of life. No, I do mean in terms of responsibilities, in terms of managing your emotions better, in terms of not being triggered. And I don't know why I keep hearing whiny, tantrumy, cribby, like as a sometimes like you can be really cribbing, or you're like very needy, and you know it because of your previous relationship. So you know that how your bad experience has basically made you like this. So all of this is something that you would be working upon, or you would have to work upon before you meet them. So that's your one sign. The second sign that I have here is you would be on this journey of where you would really realize what all you have been misunderstanding about people, about life, about your own self. And there would be a lot of lessons that you have learned up until now, but before meeting them you would have like this complete shaking up moment where you would feel as if back to back realizations are hitting you about life, about people, about beyond the life, your relationships. And you would actually now figure a way of integrating all of that. Integrating here basically means that all those lessons would now make sense to you, that instead of seeing them as different or compartmentalized lessons, you would be able to understand what life all these years has been trying to teach you. A lot of resistance in your own self, hearing a little bit stubborn attitude. I've spoken enough about tantrumy and whiny. I'm not gonna whine about it now. But stubbornness, passive aggression, bad communication, sometimes trying too hard to sound wise. I don't know why I'm saying this, but maybe this is something that sometimes irks people around you. Or maybe don't sound wise to others, but instead use this wisdom for your own self. So there's a lot of this that needs to go along with the fact that yes, you're very fearful when it comes to inviting relationships. You're also very scared. There's a lot of fear that is rooted in your past. Your past has been really bad, and hence my cards are suggesting that you would have to let go of a lot of such limiting self beliefs, your personal attributes which do require a change, your limitations in believing in love, in power of love, in the fact that yes, you can have someone who's right for you. So all of this is something that you would have to let go. So that's also one of the signs that I'm seeing. I do feel that before you meet them, all this is something that you would already be working upon, or you would start working upon. And if you're doing that already right now, then this is your sign that you are on the right path. Now, a couple of other signs that I see here is see, there's too much of coffin and death energy in this card. So I don't know if you've lost a partner, but I think there is, it's so weird to say this, but you might actually reconnect with, oh, sorry, wow, interesting, I said reconnect. You might reconnect with someone who lent you a lot of support during the demise of your partner. That's one thing. Second thing, okay, reading them very superficially, you might connect with them, at some funeral, or like due to bonding over like someone's demise and like getting close. Um, they could lend you support like during the passing away of your parents or something like that is possible. But one very important message that is coming is that actually For people in this pile who have lost their partners, you need to let go of that grief now. Till the time you won't let go of that grief, no new person is going to come and save you. They will add value, but they are not going to be your savior. So you need to let go of the grief of losing your partner. That's one message that I'm getting. Understand that some things are karmic in your life. Even if you've not lost a partner, but you've constantly been cheated, duped, and mistreated in earlier relationships, understand that your karmic period is over now. You're here to first perform your karma, and that is done and gone. So, yeah. Okay. A couple of other signs. I do feel some people in this pile, would start getting very interested in design. Now, this design can be digital, it can be decorating your home, it could be interior design, product design. I do feel that, design in today's age and time has so many different modalities. So, I do feel some of you are going to be like starting on a creative venture. Oh, creative venture is also one of the things. So, not just limited to design, but, something like script writing, storytelling, content creation. You're going to be starting on that journey in your life. And when you're going to be very focused on your work, in fact so focused that you might actually be falsely telling yourself, oh, I don't need anyone right now, I'm so busy like with my work, and I'm so busy like building myself. And for those like who are married, sorry, those who have a kid, you're going to be busy with your child as well. So when you're going to be very invested in your career, your creative pursuits, and when you might get very interested in some sort of a design modality, something that is very intriguing and different to you, that is a sign that you're on the right path of meeting them. Another thing that I'm hearing is something to do with reading conspiracy theories, or reading like or finding information and knowledge on the hidden aspects in the world. Like, of course, conspiracy theory is one thing. When you start reading about capitalism, how government is hiding things, um, New World Order, Illuminati. I feel that is also like a sign that you're going on the right path of meeting your partner. You never know, these might be things that you both take equal interest in. There's something also to do with like knowledge. Like you would become very invested in finding very peculiar knowledge about things. Like we all know hydroponics, right? But then you might become somebody who might like get really invested into understanding what is hydroponics, or you might get very interested in understanding the anatomy of soil, the worms that live in soil. So I'm hearing like you would get interested in some very peculiar knowledge, which would feel very peculiar sometimes to people when you would discuss them, and then you would also feel that, oh my god, nobody understands me. So that is also going to be a sign. Another thing, you are going to probably find a therapist or work with someone to heal your inner child issues, or you're going to be hearing a lot about inner child, inner child, inner child. And that is also when you would feel that, I mean, that is a sign that, okay, you're going to be on the right path of meeting your partner, when you decide to actually own up to your inner child issues and start really fixing them with some external help. There's a lot of alone and lonely energy in the pile. I would actually tell you, do not do that. You do need some external help. I think I mentioned it earlier, I'm getting a slight I like to wisely guide people, or I'm a bit of I know things energy, and which I don't think like it's appreciated by people around. Because what happens is sometimes see, people are also very observant these days. They like to observe your life and see that have you managed to like use all this wisdom for yourself. So that is what I'm getting. A, use all the wisdom for yourself, and B, work with the third person to heal all these issues. And I do feel you're going to be doing that in some part of your journey before you meet your partner. This pile could be very, very interested in Lord Krishna or Lord Vishnu. And I do feel that you're going to understand certain things about your karma a lot more, and the fact that, okay, a lot of the things in life are karmic, And talking about karma, believing in karma, or just constantly thinking about how life is karmic is also one of the signs before you meet your partner. I have this weird inkling as if there is some message that wants to come to me and I keep missing it. Deer. I do see something to do with a deer. You might visit something like a deer park. You might spot a deer, and I know it's a very weird message. You're all living in concrete jungles. There's no way we are spotting a deer. But I do feel there's something to do with deer. And there's this flash coming to my mind. I don't know. Have you guys watched Harry Potter? So in Harry Potter, when they're trying to find the Gryffindor sword, what happens is, I've even forgotten the terms. Harry's mother's uh, deer shows up. I forgot. What was that thing? Their manifestations, right? Totems. I forgot. So I'm spotting something like that. That you would randomly spot something about a deer, or you would spot a deer, you would have like a plan to visit a deer park. It's so weird. I'm also getting this message that you might get very peculiar, weirdly interested in finding information about deer. So yeah, something to do with some different animal, deer or kangaroo. Getting deer energy more. Yeah. Okay. Another thing that I'm seeing as a sign is that before you meet your partner, you are actually going to finally break away from your delusional mind. What do I mean by delusional mind? The mind that was fooling you into believing certain people, into not seeing the real wisdom or the truth that it was. So, like I said, back to back hard hitting realizations, and things would become a lot more clearer. Bonding over some celebrity's death, very weird. It's almost like as if you would read about someone's death which would really impact you, is also a sign, because I do feel as if when you meet the one, they would also know about this. Okay. Then we have this other card, which is the card of pathway, which basically says that, right now for this particular pile, there is a longest journey. Like, there is still time for you to be able to meet your partner, because you're still starting on that journey of, trying to understand that what you need to metamorph into, what you need to change into. Like I see all these different butterflies. How I'm interpreting this is like, as if it's your different version of butterflies only. From here to here, there is a journey that needs to be done. And this journey is of everything that I'm talking about. So, a lot of your signs, instead of being external, they are actually very internal. A lot of internally things you need to change, you need to acknowledge, accept, and work upon before you meet them. Now, a few other messages that I have is I forgive all past experiences. Interesting. We did speak of it, right? I accept all that I've created for myself, my past, my present. I'm willing to allow my future to happen. There's something about acceptance also. I think I did mention that, the spy can be like very stubborn or resistant to hearing criticism about their own selves, because you constantly then revel into the fact that, oh my god, I was so wrong, or I was so silly. I'm hearing this dialogue from this movie called Jab We Met, in which Kareena Kapoor says, kitni gadhi thi main, or oh my god, how silly I am. So there is a certain level of embarrassment and shame or guilt in choosing what you chose in the past. You have to let go of that guilt and shame, and that is why maybe you were also shamed a lot as a child. Maybe like you grew up with highly critical parents, and that's why like any ounce of criticality now becomes very irritating to you, because you're really done with it. It's taken you a long while to accept yourself as you are, but there's still a little bit more work. Be kind, be empathic to yourself, but at the same time, do not stop working on yourself. If there is still certain knots that need to be unknotted, it's your responsibility. Nobody will do it for you. Love is the most powerful healing force there is. I give it and accept it without any limitation. I help create a world where it is safe for us to love each other. If I were to read it superficially, I would say with you can chill a little bit. Maybe you love enough, but first love yourself. But also, I do feel like, this is actually about you loving yourself. When you're saying that, oh, I love others, I give it and accept it, I think this is all for you. You need to first love yourself. And love yourself does not mean that you become very stubborn, or like, you become a little bit delusional about, oh, how, only you have had it worse or whatever. It is definitely about owning up to your past experiences, which is very hard, very difficult, and then moving beyond that. So you must love yourself more. You must accept yourself. Let go of negative emotions. Try to work on those. How can you release guilt, shame, embarrassment from your own self? Okay? The other message that I have is divine right action is guiding me every moment of the day. I know whatever the outcome is, it is perfect for me and everyone concerned. Oops. I trust and know that all is well in my world. I think, yeah, this is something that you need to know. But again, combining this with this card, what I do feel is as if, yes, this is a good assurance from universe, okay, from the higher power. But do not let this statement become a reason to not work on yourself, because there is a lot of need for this pile to still confront their own selves and work on themselves. But at the same time, cards are suggesting that you should know that all is well in your world. It's okay, it's still a slightly long path. There's still miles to go ahead, but it's all right. You are on a good, cozy, sweet path. All right? So, a little bit more time is needed because there is certain grief, there is certain shame, guilt, everything that needs to let go from your life. That you need to let go from your life. Okay, now as the last message. Okay, so today what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be flipping through this book that you see here and I'm going to read out a message for you. Okay, so just try to move it on camera, but then I'll actually be like flipping through it off camera. It's just easier for me. Give me a message for pile 2, pile 2, pile 2, pile 2. What does pile 2 need to hear? Okay. Okay, I'm going to be reading this. This is page 158 of this book, Heart of the Lotus Sutra. I don't think you can see clearly on camera, but yes. It says, you must listen carefully and hear the thus come one's secret and his transcendental powers. Let us now begin our study of the lifespan chapter, the very foundation of Buddha's teachings. The chapter begins at that time. The expedient means chapter also begins in this way, but in lifespan the words still carry greater significance. Namely, they refer to the time when Buddha finally will expound the fundamental law of essential teaching. In other words, the time has arrived when all the people can eradicate from their life's fundamental darkness, the fundamental source of illusion that even highly advanced bodhisattvas such as Maitreya could not easily overcome. Moreover, the expression at that time in lifespan points to the time after Shakyamuni's passing. It is for those living after the Buddha's passing that Maitreya beseeches Shakyamuni to expound his teaching. The time has at last arrived when Shakyamuni will reveal the fundamental teaching that will illuminate the lives of all the people in the world after his passing. It is the time to which the words at that time refer. At that time, the Buddha says, you must believe and understand the truthful words of thus come one. He repeats this statement 3 times. Truthful words are those that directly express truth to which Buddha is enlightened. To put it in another way, he says he will explain his enlightenment directly, abandoning all expedient means. So he urges that they receive his teaching with faith. Okay, you must carefully listen and hear of the thus come one secret and his transcendental powers. I think there's something in here, and if I were to decode what I've just read for you, connecting it with the cards, what I simply feel is that, this particular line which talks about being accepting the truth that it is and being enlightened by those who express the truth. I think this is very important. And what I am seeing here is that, maybe you need to accept your own truth as well. If your partner is not around because you are no more, or if you have made mistakes in the past, or if people have hurt you, accept it all as your karma, your karmic journey, and move beyond. So you have the book now, you have the page number. If you want, you can pick up this book or you can go on the internet and read up more about it. But I do feel there is something in there that you need to understand and which might help to heal you. So was it, pile number two. If any part of it resonated, please do comment and let me know. It really helps me, keeps me motivated to keep making these readings, which are, by the way, quite long. So, thank you. Bye. Hi, pile number three. If you chose the beautiful golden turquoise image on the right, extreme right, then this is your reading. Okay, first things first, why do I feel some people in this pile who are watching this pile are very young? I mean, they could be in their early 20s, even like younger than that, or in their 20s, basically, like till 26, 27. I do feel like people who are watching this pile are very young. Or even if you're not in that age bracket, you could be young in your mindset and how you like to see life. Yeah, that's first message I'm getting. As I was sitting and channeling the messages also from the image, I could constantly hear two songs. First is Lovers by Taylor Swift, and second was this song of Kajol from the movie DDLJ. कैसा है कौन है वो जाने कहाँ है. Yeah, that one. And also Lovers, constantly. Ladies and gentlemen, will you please stand? You know why? I'm like constantly feeling as if, people who have selected this spire have watched too much romantic content. You could be guys, who watch sometimes Korean dramas, cute chick flick Hollywood movies, Bollywood romance. So there is a lot of hope and happiness and joy that conversations of love bring you, and a lot of hope. Like, I see a lot of hope, and I am constantly hearing this keyword cute in my head. Cute, cute, cute. Like cute kisses, cute cuddles. Like, you want it all. You're just like, oh, like love is such a cuddly and cute feeling. And when will I have it? Of course, that is also the question, and that's why you're here watching this reading. So, just a couple of the things I heard. Even if they don't resonate, it's all right. Continue. Let's see if you have something else here. Um, First thing that I'm getting for this pile is that I do feel some people in this pile are young, or they are still studying, and maybe your focus should be a little bit more of your career right now. And there would be a time when you would have understood a lot about life, about love, about relationships, and then you would feel anyway more ready into entering the unionship for good and for long, like like a committed unionship. That's one message that I'm getting. The other message that I'm getting is like, if you don't resonate with being young age wise, and if you're like, no, 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 I am like of the right age, when will I have the one? Hello, hello. So here is me barging in your video. Only gonna take a few seconds. I just want to talk about few of my services. The first being that if you're looking for a private reading or a numerology analysis or Akashic readings, then please reach out to me via my Instagram. All the details are mentioned in the highlights of my Instagram. And secondly, I have also started teaching both tarot and numerology. These are both online and offline courses. So if you want to be learning from me, then again, please reach out to me via my Instagram. And lastly, if you like what I do here, if you like my style of readings and the messages that I give you, then please ensure that you subscribe to my channel, and you do not forget to comment and like the videos that you're watching. I am kind of getting the message as if you will find your person, or before you will find your person, one of the big signs that you will see is that you will get very invested into religion or spirituality. And I literally feel as if you're going to be doing some meditations, certain practices like jap, or sitting down daily to pray, offer a particular ritual to God. I feel that that is going to be like your biggest sign. And when that happens is when you should know that you're on the right path. So that's one message that I'm seeing for sure. See, overall, it's a very positive pile, okay? Like, it's a very nice, cutesy, hopeful pile. But we always have to ensure that your hope and our desires are meeting the reality of the times we are living in, okay? So I'll come on to that a little bit later, but right now, just coming on to the signs. The first sign that I definitely see is that you could meet them also if you're pursuing or if you're studying something. That is one possibility. You could meet them, while you're like doing some course, or like while you're trying to research about some educational field or course, and that's when you could also meet your partner. uh, or you could be planning to study something different. That is going to be a sign that, okay, you're on the path, or you're like closer to meeting your partner. Religion and spirituality is something I'm seeing very strongly here. Trying to understand, or trying to maybe stick to like one ritual, and I feel more of a ritualistic energy, as if, like you're going to be doing something daily, like fasting, or offering prayers, or like giving water to sun. So I feel like something ritualistic that's also going to happen. Few other signs that I see here are that see, people in this file, I think they are really fun and frolicking through their life right now, having fun, taking a chill pill, maybe sometimes here and there dating, but keeping their eyes on the prize, which is that one person who will come and sort me out for good and for long. So while all of that is happening, you will be advised by various people, when you will be on the path of like meeting the right person, that you need to start donating, you need to do certain charity work. um, I also feel some of you people could be working in the public sector, or could be working in the social services sector, and you might get very drawn to like volunteering at some place, or doing charity work. You could meet your partner also there, but yeah, that is going to be like one of the signs that, okay, you are on the path of like meeting your partner. You're getting very invested into charity, into volunteering. You want to help people around. I also feel some people in this file may get very interested in studying life coaching, like coaching or certain healing modalities, and that again will be a sign that you're on the path, and eventually you are going to cross paths with your future spouse. Also feel like a lot of stressful daydreaming. Like I said, I do feel like, this pile is very influenced by Bollywood, Hollywood, and all sort of pop culture references about romance and love. Hearing Korean dramas also. So I do feel as if, like while you're always like daydreaming, you're visualizing, you're thinking about the one, but a part of you is like also very, very stressed. So literally, when you will read or hear or realize a lot about that, set a tree, don't chase it, things should come to you naturally, attract, don't chase. When you start hearing like a lot of these things, or like randomly reading these things on the internet, is when also you are on the path closer to finding your partner. What I'm getting here is basically that you'll have to detach for some time, from all these thoughts. You don't have to be so immersive in all these thoughts consecutively, consistently. And that is when you will eventually realize that, yeah, uh, it's easier that way. And then I feel universe is going to place someone in your path. There's a level of detachment that is needed from all these dreaming thoughts, constant thoughts of like, when I'll have my partner, I'll do this, I'll do that with them, only they are going to come and sort me. Together we will do all of this. I think there's a need to take like break from all of this. Other signs that I'm getting here is, like I said, you're going to be like doing some proper spiritual or religion based ritual on a regular basis. That is going to be your biggest sign, and you will become very consistent at it. It's not like something that you do like a short period of time. You would want to keep on pursuing it. Another message that I have here is, straight up, you might constantly hear a lot about Hanuman. You might just start seeing too much of content around Hanuman, Neem Karoli Baba, and you might start even following maybe Neem Karoli Baba. You might even plan a visit to an ashram or to a place, where there are legends of Hanuman. Ayodhya, again, Neem Karoli Baba. If you know more, please put down in the comments so I can use them as examples later on. So yes, I'm definitely seeing that conversations around Hanuman, visiting Hanuman temple every Tuesday, Saturdays would become like very common in your life. Meditation is also one of the things that I'm getting here, since you're talking about like spiritual signs that you might get. So you might become very invested into your ritualistic practice, or like sitting down daily for meditation, for focusing on your inner world. Okay, one thing also that I'm getting, although you're being asked to detach and flow like with the rhythm of life, but I do feel that, one of the biggest signs that will happen is that you would take out dedicated time to either visualize in meditation and manifest your partner, or just dedicated time to daydream, because your mind is going to be so occupied throughout the day with the thoughts that, oh my god, I'm lonely, I don't have anybody, oh my god, I need someone, I just want to have someone, that you would actually like become at least aware enough to tell yourself that, listen, I can't be thinking about this all day, so let me just take out like 20 minutes, maybe at night or in evening when I'm going to be like doing this. Another thing I think you will actually really manifest, you would start like following certain channels, or you would like start reading a lot about like how do you go about manifesting your partner. And while doing that, you would get a lot of clarity about your own self, because everywhere you would read that, first you need to be clear on who you are, what you are, and that will also drive you and push you more into a different kind of spirituality, which is more meditation, understanding the flow of life, staying still, and not your head being so much in the clouds. So that's another thing. Very weird message I'm getting. Some of you could actually meet your person while flying, or you could be like taking a very important trip in a plane. So that is something that I'm definitely seeing here. Another thing, I think, the delusional fogginess that Bollywood, Hollywood, and every other content on romance has fed you is going to clear out before you meet them. And which can also mean, of course, that you may have to go through like few fake frogs actually. Oh, it's interesting. I did not see this, and then I realized that this is actually a frog, because I was referring to that whole Prince Charming theory, that before meeting your Prince Charming, you might have to like kiss many other frogs. And interesting, this is a frog. So, yeah, you might have to kiss many frogs before you go and meet your Prince or Princess Charming. And you should be all right with it. You have to swim in the flow of life. See how beautifully certain cards are connecting even from different decks. Swim through the flow of life. So I don't think right now, like immediately, is the time for you to be like meeting the one. And I do feel many people in this pile are like fairly young, or maybe just very young at heart, or still have like not, or there may be like people who have been single for so long, or like forever single. So it's like they really don't know how to be in a relationship, or how to find like the right one, because of course it will take like a little bit of practice. So you need few people who are going to become your anchors in terms of setting you on the path of meeting your Prince Charming. So I do feel that you're going to be like having certain short-term dates, relationships, a little bit of heartbreak with certain people, thinking, oh my god, I thought they were the one for me. Simply put, you're going to be kissing many frogs before you meet the one. So you should be open to kissing many frogs, basically. Sometimes what happens is we, in our conditioning and in our morality, we really close down ourselves to a lot of experiences. But how I also like to see it is that it's only via meeting different people, via understanding our own emotions when we meet them, our triggers, how we handle situations, what we truly understand of love. um, we understand ourselves better. It's an opportunity for us to learn and to grow from that experience. And yes, it's a painful opportunity sometimes. Most of the times you feel hurt, but it's definitely an opportunity of growth. So you need that. So much of green energy in the cards. It's like, you need that growth so that these clouds, they clear off, the fogginess clears off, and you realize what is it that you seek. Another sign that I feel you may get before you meet them, I think your clarity on wealth is going to be there. Some of you might be like, oh my god, I want like a partner who's going to be like very wealthy, or like, I want a partner who's extremely presentable. Like, when I walk into the room with my partner, everybody should be looking at my partner. Um, See, again, complexity in relationships exists, but many a times the reasons of why we do what we do are very stupid. Also, I do feel that some people in this pile have been told consistently that your luck will shine after you get married. After your marriage, your luck is going to get blessed, or your 10th or 11th house will be activated, or you might meet your partner from like a far away distant land, and that's when your luck will turn around. And I think that is why also, many people in this pile are just constantly rushing into like finding someone. In their mind and heart, they are like, oh my Lord God, they are like the key to my destiny, so I need them immediately. And like I said, like it's a very stupid reason, okay? Like, you are supposed to be with someone when the time is right, when you are prepared, when you love them and they love you back. And all these things, they will fall into place when they have to allow things to take their rightful positions on their own, so that they can together produce the same effect. Okay, we can't rush things just because we know a piece of information. So yes, I do feel some people in this pile have been thinking like that. And I think when you will get clarity that life is beyond just the physical looks, or just the wealth of a person. Life is about respect, love, companionship, mutual partnership. I think all that clarity will come to you. The fogginess in your mind about the illusion of love as taught in Bollywood, or maybe like in certain cultural dramas, once that moves away, then is when you're going to be finding your the one. I do feel, like there is still like a lot of things that you need to learn and let go in terms of like understanding your outlook towards your love life, towards people. I do feel like, many people in this pile, like when they talk about like what kind of partner they want or how do they want them, sometimes, they may sound like very childish or immature, or a little dreamy, that oh, it doesn't exist like that. So that dreaminess needs to go. Okay, so I do feel that there would be a time when you would start questioning love and seeing it in a very different light, from a more wiser, mature lens, where there would be more chatter of companionship and what a true partnership means and entails in your life. So if that happens, that is also the sign that you're now moving towards the right path. Also, one of the biggest signs definitely for this pile is when you just um, date people, even if you initially feel they may not be the one, but if you're like going into dating like people for short term, etc., that also means that this is a part of your journey. You're supposed to go through it so that you end up eventually being the right one. You could meet your partner, or like one of the biggest signs that can happen before you meet them is also that you could be attending certain parties where there is gambling. Like in India, we have Diwali parties. You could be doing a lot of poker or casino nights. So if that happens, or if your interest increases a lot in playing cards, in learning poker, then that is your sign. Another message that I'm getting is you would change your dressing style a lot before you meet them. You would completely want to look and deck up yourself in a very different manner before you meet them. You would polish your look a lot. You would learn like little things, suppose in terms of how to maintain yourself, your hair, your skin. So that is going to be like one of the signs that the universe is basically preparing you, polishing you via you to meet you're the one. Also a chance that you might have like some big opportunity that might come your way before you meet them. Like it'll be something very pivotal when it comes to like your work and your career. You might start a business or you might start something of your own before you meet them. You may get something like an asset, like somebody, your father, like gives you an asset, gold, jewelry, house, car. Some big asset may also come your way before you meet them. If you were looking for funding, you may get funding for your venture before you meet them. But yeah, definitely something to do with feeling more confident yourself financially before you meet your partner, and also looking your smoking hot best before you meet your partner. Okay, couple of other messages. Oh, interesting. Some people in this pile, if you have been in a relationship where you had to take a divorce, or if you were fighting legal battle in your family, you might win the case before you meet them, or like there would be like a fair judgment on the case. So yeah, something to do with legality and winning money legally also. Okay, now last few messages that I have here is I affirm only the good in life. I am in harmony with all that surrounds me and I am at peace. A simple message. I think you just need to tell yourself to have faith, not rush into the energy of love or into finding someone. It's going to be good whenever it's meant to happen. I know and affirm that my body is a friendly place to live. I have respect for my body and I treat it well. I affirm positive things about my body and tell it I love it often. Interesting. I suddenly recall, I think when I was shuffling your cards, I think it was this card or I can't recall which card. I did actually see a card, health issue. It didn't come out, but I very prominently saw it. I think like, the spy could be either going through health issues right now or before they meet their partner. They are going to learn to understand to take care of themselves well. So when I said that you might dress up well, it might also mean actually you will actually learn how to listen to your body and take care of your health well. Your health issues are going to become very manageable or might actually go away before you meet your partner. You will start loving your body. I feel some people in this pile may also have body weight, body shaming issues. They may feel that they are fat or they are not as pretty, they are not as fair skinned, and like especially in India, like all this is like colorism, etc., really exists, and of course globally also we know that be it colorism or having issues with your body is something that truly exists. So what I also feel is that many people in this pile are going to love their body before they meet them. If you have any health issues, your health issues are going to get the right solutions. You will land up at places where you would feel, oh my god, my health issues are getting sorted. And I also feel some people in this pile will be told to do Hanuman Chalisa for their health issues. So all these becomes your signs before you actually meet them. But like I'm saying, I do feel in this pile they need to go through a few fake frogs before they find a frog that turns into their prince or princess charming. I freely express who I am. It is my birthright to express myself in ways that are fulfilling to me. Interesting. We just spoke about body issues, and I also feel like it's tied to your confidence. People in this pile maybe feel like very underconfident. They feel like they don't really have anybody like who understands them. There's like no friend or whatever that with whom they can share like a lot of things that are happening in their life. So you would also learn to, I think, freely express yourself before you meet them. You would become very confident in your body, in who you are, and how you talk, and how you think. And your confidence is going to be one of, I think, the catapulting factors for them. So, less cloudiness and dreaminess, more realistic confidence rooted in the truth. All right. Okay. Now, the last message that I'm going to be giving to you is from this book. It's called The Heart of Lotus Sutra. And I'm going to be flipping the pages in this book, and whatever page I stop on, that's going to be your message. So I'm going to be flipping some here. Give me a message for pile 3, for pile 3. It's easier for me to flip off camera, so I'll just flip off camera and bring you the message. Give me a message for pile 3. What is pile 3? With a turquoise blue, golden mushrooms. Image need to know about their love life and the signs they will get before meeting their partner. Okay, so I don't know why I felt like flipping twice, and I have two messages here for you. First is praying consistently for the happiness of others. Their words are soft and gentle, means that to his listeners, the Buddha's words are soft and gentle. These are words that, while tender, reverberate with piercing conviction. With such words, the Buddha caused people to feel joy, so has led them to this point. Even though he's saying this with regard to the pre-Lotus Sutra teachings, in accordance with the mind of others, it offers us an important guideline. Soft and gentle does not simply mean nice and easygoing. Soft and gentle words are completely different from the compliant words intended merely to be agreeable. They are words that touch a chord in others' lives, words that move people. That is, that they express an understanding of others' feelings. Moreover, since deep down everyone desires true happiness, words uttered in ardent prayer of someone's happiness, even if they are strong, are soft and gentle. Okay, so I do want to connect this message to this, which is share your bounties. And I don't know if I said it earlier or not, or if I missed it, but that was like one of the messages that I got. I think some people in this pile are also maybe people like who in their childhood were slightly mean or bullying towards other people. That's one. Second, some people in this pile have constantly been criticized a lot by their peers around, because of which they have low confidence. So, in both the cases, you are being asked to stay soft and gentle. And your soft and gentle is not like simply agreeing with others, but it is that you are also praying for happiness of others. You are able to touch a chord in others' lives, and that will also happen when you learn to express yourself freely. So if you were someone who was slightly mean or bullying like in their childhood, maybe it's time to ask for forgiveness, at least in your mind, and realize that yes, where you went wrong. If you're somebody that who has had trouble expressing themselves and has confidence issues, it's time that you express yourself freely, because that's when you would be able to touch lives of other people. You'd be able to be invested in journeys of other people, and you would share the love and joy that you have within yourself. Share your bounties. All right, that's one message that I have for you. And the other page that I opened is the benefit of reading the passage 3 times. What significance attaches to our reading this passage, explaining the true aspect of the 10 factors 3 times when we do Gongyo each morning and evening? So Nichiren explains that reading 10 factors 3 times signifies the manifestation of three truths: non-substantiality, temporary existence, and the middle way in our lives. This means our lives express the 3 bodies of Buddha: the Dharma body, the reward body, and the manifested body. And there are 3 virtues, 3 attributes of Buddha: the Dharma body, wisdom, and emancipation. Okay, I'm going to stop this here. You can definitely pick this book and read if you're interested. What I'm picking from this message is definitely something to do with wisdom that I spoke about in terms of, let me just put it here, sorry. Wisdom that I spoke about, that you will have like a very different perspective of looking at things, and that will happen when certain things repeat in your life. And I don't mean like creating patterns, but there are certain lessons you might have to go through in your life back to back. Like I said, kiss many frogs before you meet the one. So, because it said that benefit of reading the passage 3 times, you might have to like go through certain heartbreaks or like a journey of like being with certain kind of people before you finally understand the wisdom of what love companionship is. And I also feel this message came to you because of manifestation, that um, if you want to truly manifest, you need to be in touch with your body, you need to be in touch with your wisdom as well, and you need to understand that many things in our life are temporary as well. um, and there is only one truth, that is you, your wisdom, and your inner belief. So I do feel that, maybe this message also came to you for that. But yes, feel free to pick this book if you want. It's a cute little book, especially if you follow Buddhism, you might enjoy it. And that's all that I have for you. Pile number 3, if any part of this resonated, please do let me know. And make sure you comment down below whatever resonated, because it motivates me to make readings. Thanks. Bye.